Bing and Google face off in the AI search engine wars, and just what the hell is going on with the Twitter API? That's what we're going to find out today. So, first of all, Google have just yesterday released BARD, their AI-powered search function. It is powered by Lambda, or language model for dialogue applications, and is clearly aimed squarely at fending off competition from Bing, who are planning on integrating ChatGPT into their search. And so turning search from a search of the internet to find something relevant to you into a conversation with an AI, basically. And so that is what Google are now trying to do with BARD. They've released some in this blog by Sundar Pichai. They've released some examples of what it might be used for, and they're slightly more complicated questions than Google's typically known for. So the example they've given is it more difficult to learn piano or guitar? And then it writes you some text answering that question and then has some links underneath. Now, by the looks of things, honestly, it looks a little bit underwhelming compared to the explosion of interest that was created by ChatGPT. This kind of seems a bit like it's poor cousin, and it feels to me a bit like Google have panicked. They've seen how wild the world has gone for ChatGPT, and they've thought, right, we've got to get this out. So let's see. It's been released to beta testers today, I believe. So you will start to see some examples of it in use online from now on, and it will be interesting to see whether it's actually decent. It doesn't look like it's got a chat functionality in the same way that ChatGPT does. It looks like it just generates text for you to try and answer your question. We'll see whether it actually is a bit more interactive than that. I think that will be the key. ChatGPT, the thing that makes it really interesting is that you can iterate over your question to get to exactly what it is that you're after. The other key consideration here is that it's difficult to see how Google is going to make as much money as they currently do on search with this AI model, because the AI gives you the answer that you want in its entirety straight away. So there's no real need to click on a paid for link. So it'll be interesting to see how they square that circle. Meanwhile, Bing have seemingly released and then de-released the ChatGPT integration with their search engine. So some users have reported a new front page of Bing appearing and then disappearing, which had ChatGPT in. So clearly, these two giants are going to be spending the rest of this year really trying to iterate over their innovation and outdo each other. The winner of all of this, of course, is going to be us as the end users, because we get better products, and Google's finally got some competition, as I discussed in a previous video. So it's all exciting stuff. As I say, it looks a bit to me like the Google one might be a bit underwhelming, but let's see. It's just a launch blog. There might be loads of other features and functions that I haven't seen yet. And clearly, you can ask it more interesting questions, and presumably you'll get more interesting answers. The ones that are on the blog are a bit bland. So that's Google and Bing and Microsoft. So Twitter API. So you might have seen in the news, Elon announced that the API was all going to be paid for access. And then he has kind of de-announced that just recently. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, an API is an application programming interface. It is the way that programmers can talk to the data in a system. So you use the API to pull data from Twitter, and you can use that data to do things with. So any of you that have ever used Brandwatch, for example, or loads of these different analytics platforms that use Twitter data, they will all use the Twitter API to speak to Twitter and pull information out of it, and then they analyze it and present it back to you. The API is also used by bots, many bots. And because it's free and open, Twitter famously has a very open API, which is why there are so many analytics tools that are built on it. But it has meant that lots of people have built bots on there. So Twitter is filled with bots. So Elon's initial rationale was to try and clear that up by making API access paid for. So no free layer of API access. What's then happened is it turns out actually quite a lot of the bots are quite fun. So my favorite bot, for example, is the Peep Show bot that just tweets out Peep Show line by line all day, every day, from beginning to end. Which seems a bit silly, but it means whenever I log on to Twitter, I see a little bit of Peep Show, and it's quite fun. So there are lots of these. There's like a cat. So someone Elon replied to this account that's got a cat, and I'd never heard of it before, but it looks like it's just a cat going in and out, and then it takes a picture, and then the bot tweets the picture of the cat. So there's all this weird stuff, right? Twitter's a weird place. But they're quite fun and people like them, and this weird stuff is kind of what makes Twitter special, and I think Elon does appreciate that. So he's now said that for accounts that are fun like that, he's going to try and continue to have a free tier, but maintain paid for any other kind of bot. So again, who knows how he's going to define what's fun or not? It seems kind of subjective to me, but presumably if they're just creating content and not trying to make any money, then that would be quite an easy place to draw the line. I suspect that's what they'll do. I hope that's what they'll do, because I don't want the Peep Show bot to disappear, but it will have to if the API becomes paid for. So that's everything for this week. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks to everyone who's been in touch this week. As always, lovely to hear from you, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.